Now, while there's been great focus today on what next year's parliamentary sitting calendar means for the timing of the 2022 federal election, this Saturday, New South Wales residents will vote in 124 local government elections. Now, in the city of Sydney, it's a six-horse race with the longest-standing mayor in Sydney history, Clover Moore, looking to extend her reign. Well, it will work out to 20 years if she stays in power. But as residents prepare to vote, there are feisty arguments going on about whether businesses in the city will soon lose their right to vote, while rumours abound that Clover Moore has no intention of seeing out another term. And that should play a role in how people vote. As usual, the gloves are off. It is Sydney City after all. One of the six candidates in this mayoral race is councillor and businesswoman Angela Vithoulkas. She joins me in the studio right now. Angela, thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks, Chris.
I want to go into the concept that business actually votes for these council elections. Now, just for people to understand that, you get a vote, but your name is not necessarily on a roll. You have to somehow lodge your name prior to the election. And, of course, there are so many business people who don't understand that. So, therefore, so many business people that spend money and, supply Sydney City with their revenue are outed. They don't get a vote. Yes,
but I've spent 9 years changing that. So 9 years ago, it was very difficult to get registered. It took reams of paper, affidavits. You had to get a JP to sign. You couldn't do it online. And the roll was wiped at each election. 9 years later, what I have done, all this hard work, is you can register online. The roll doesn't get wiped, so it carries through to each election. And where we are today is 47,000 businesses registered to vote at this election. 9 years ago, there was 1,500. So This is the great difference.
Okay.
But every other candidate that's running is lobbying hard to silence the business vote. This could be the last election the 47,000 businesses get to vote.
So they want to make it exclusively for residents?
Exclusively.
And the business people should not have a say. See, I would argue that business provides more revenue to Sydney City Council than residents do.
Well, it's 75% more. Right. So it's $270 million are contributed by commercial rates and $60-odd million by residents. Now, don't get me wrong, Chris. Residents, business owners, ratepayers, we need each other. That's what makes Sydney great, all of us. To isolate the people that contribute 75%, and I'm a business owner and a resident, but to isolate the small business community from having a voice where they've invested all their life savings, where they spend 100 hours a week, 660,000 jobs are generated in the City of Sydney by business.
They should have a say.
We employ local. Yeah. We buy local.
This is one of the reasons why Clover Moore has been there for so long. A lot of people in other states say, how do you keep a mayor for that long? Oh, it must be popular. No, the inner city elites that live in that part of Sydney keep voting her in, and those in business, OK, they've had a greater say, but they haven't had much of a say during the time that Clover Moore has been mayor.
And it's her 45 staff and ratepayer money that funds her brand.
Yeah.
She is the brand of Sydney. There is no other political leadership in Australia that focuses on the brand of the person.
Can she lose this election on Saturday?
Well, that's the goal, right? The gloves are off. I'm here after 9 years of serving as a councillor, putting my hand up again and saying enough is enough. The thing that I'm most fearful of is that she is setting up a council because she has announced arrogantly that she expects a Super 8 majority on council this time. She currently has 5 out of 10 seats. She says she's going to get 8 out of 10. So why the rest of us are even bothering to turn up for an election is beyond me. But we are fearful.
What a dictatorship.
Well, it is a dictatorship, Chris. There is no democracy in Town Hall. It is her word and no other.
Well, look at the Sydney firework debacle.
That's right.
She reverted to a doctor at the ABC and stopped it 3 months before it was even supposed to happen.
But if she gets re-elected, people are telling me at the polling booths every day, and I'm out at the polling booths every day in pre-poll now, they're telling me she's not going to serve her full term.
How do you know that that's what they're saying? Is that just a rumour?
I don't believe it is a rumour. I believe she is setting up council. She wants that Super 8 majority so that she can appoint or anoint the next Lord Mayor in her image. So people should be careful who they're voting for because it might be Clover Part 2.
OK, I live in the Sydney City area. I know most of the issues, but in particular, I know the issue about the complexity of bike lanes that have brought that part of Sydney to an absolute standstill because we've got to allow 15 bikes to go through in a day on some of these routes, while bus lanes have been taken out and double car lanes have been taken out, and it's bumper to bumper. It frustrates residents no end. So if you get there, and surely all the other candidates will promise the same, can't we review that?
We absolutely have to. We've got 3 sets of pop-up cycleways that have brought the city to its knees. Pitt Street, which has reduced it to if you're a turtle, you're speeding. Yeah. Bridge Road Cycleway in Glebe, complete and utter nightmare in terms of safety. Yeah. The residents there who love bike paths want it gone. And Moore Park Road, people can't put their bins out anymore, Chris. You've got to wheel your bin across the road to get the rubbish picked up. You can't stop your car out the front of your house. You can't get food deliveries. And the childcare, people can't drop their kids off because the pop-up cycleway was Clover's answer to COVID. Another panic attack.
And you've not only got permanent cycleways, people in other states need to understand this. Not only are there permanent cycleways that annoy business, that avoid you having the need to park.
Take away parking from businesses and residents.
Totally. Right? So lives change out of this.
Yes.
But also the pop-ups have turned up.
Pop-ups.
And the pop-ups look very permanent to me.
They're no community consultation. People have had absolutely no say. They've woken up the next day and there they were.
Yeah. OK. What if she stays in for another period?
Well, she's got a fight on her hands.
Yeah.
That's why I stayed. The minute she announced a Super 8 majority, that's why I run again. I was ready to retire.
Right.
9 years is a long time for a person like me. Council is full-time work.
Yeah. And it's an expensive process running a campaign.
And I've had a tough 9 years. Yeah. Light rail hit most small businesses hard in the city of Sydney, and I was curled up in the fetal position licking my wounds. Yeah. But COVID came, small business was in chaos in the CBD, and there is more pain to come for our businesses, and they have no voice. We deserve a seat at the table at the very least. I'm there to fight, regardless of what happens on Saturday. I hope I am re-elected, but people need to be very careful about who they think the next Lord Mayor will be, because it will not be who they're voting for on Saturday if they vote for Clover Moore.
Angela Vithoulkas, thank you very much for coming in. Good luck Saturday.
Thank you.
All right.